You saw in part 1 how you can use the voice to add more expression. Now we're going to focus on gesture and eye contact and see how they work together to help you get understood in the way that you intend. So, it's good to see you. Now, if I was to say that without a gesture, it's good to see you. Do you see the difference? It's difficult to make that look really sincere. But if you use a gesture to underline the vocal emphasis, it adds more conviction and enthusiasm. So you really don't have to do that much for there to be a big difference in the way that you come across. Now, sometimes, whether speaking to a group of people or just to one other person, we can forget a word or phrase, or you might forget completely what you were going to say next, which is pretty common. Now, if that's the case, move. Most people freeze and then their brains don't move. So if you gesture, it's really uncanny, but the words tend to follow. Looking at gestures and the direction of gestures now, downward gestures with a downward intonation at the end of the sentence can make you sound much more final. So if we take a sentence such as, "Shall we finish now?" Although that was just a question, it sounds like I've made up my mind to pack and run. But if I say, "Shall we finish now?" with the upward gesture, there's a little more uncertainty. It's as if I'm inviting a response. You can use an upward gesture and intonation if you want to take the edge off a command. And it's also useful to remember that it doesn't sound so good to go up at the end of every sentence like a lot of people do when they've been watching too much MTV or they've just come back from America and they go up at the end of every sentence, because then we can't tell if you're being authoritative or questioning. So using the intonations in your voice will convey the meaning that you intend. So we've covered voice and gesture, and the last element is eye contact. Now, good eye contact doesn't mean that you zoom in on someone and hold them in your glare, because that basically will freak them out. It's normal to look away. And that also helps you to get the thought. So make sure, though, that you hold the look at the end of the sentence. So if I say, "Jackie, you did brilliantly," it probably doesn't look that sincere. But if I say, "Jackie, you did brilliantly," holding the look conveys the meaning that I intend. Now, if you're speaking to a large group of people, split them in 3. So you've got the left, the centre, and the right. And what you do is you give a phrase to each section of the audience, and don't worry about the order. It doesn't have to be left, centre, right. I mean, the people don't notice as long as you spread the love. So by including each section, funnily enough, everybody feels involved. Now, a lot of people don't like direct eye contact, either in a one-to-one or in a presentation. If you feel uncomfortable with direct eye contact in a one-to-one, look over here, because unless you're really close up to them, you're not going to look boss-eyed. It takes the edge off the communication. If you're speaking to a large audience, aim for the eyebrows, because actually they will see that you're looking them in the eye, so you can fake it. So, with these few tips on using your voice, body language and eye contact more effectively, what you say will have the right impact.